This is the Viewfinders podcast presented by Framerate Technologies. I'm Sam McQueen, and I'm here with Vaughn Juarez talking about an AI host, how to build one, how to use one, and the advances in the technology. Vaughn, in a general sense, where are we now with the technology around an AI host?
Thanks, Sam. If you've been paying attention at all in the last year and a half, there's been a massive trend towards what they say are AI avatars, essentially an AI host. And all that really is, for the most part, started out with an existing person, their photograph or likeness was basically ingested into a computer, and then their lips are synced with new audio or new text and producing a new video result, what would be considered a talking head video. That has improved in the last 2 years immensely, maybe more than almost any other video technology. With the advent of artificial intelligence, video rendering, and all that happening so quickly, where we were 6 months ago is essentially ancient compared to now. Now the video models are completely seamless. You can't tell unless you're very good at seeing some mistake that the computer might have made, of even noticing that the model isn't a real live human who is recorded on a set. The technology is moving really fast. And in fact, there's some leaders in this space. There's a company called Synthesia. They were one of the early movers, and I know that they've constantly been revamping and rebuilding, and every few months creating something new. If you did, for example, something with them a year ago, the quality of what you're getting now is leaps and bounds by multiples better.
Where, in building an AI host, where is the work done? Where is the big lift in terms of creating and then using an AI host?
There's two big challenges or pieces to this. First is if you're going to base it on cloning somebody. That would be if you have an existing talent and you want to use that talent as your base for your model and have that talent, that new clone of them, use the same voice and mannerisms and visuals and all that of that person. The key is to really capture that person as best as possible. A really nice voice sample. There's some scripts that have been generated to help with AI voice cloning. 11 Labs is a leader in AI voice cloning, certainly not the only player, but there's tools like that out there on that side. And then on the visuals, simply getting the right video, the right scanning of the model. There's LiDAR technology now to be able to get 3D models of the person, and using that to then feed that to the computer. The computer will then use that to calculate whatever the model needs to be doing or saying based on your input. If you want something excited or sad or whatever, the 7 basic human emotions are now understood by AI computers, and how that person, specifically that person you've got in your model, would likely look when they're sad or they're happy or whatever, including voice intonation and all that. So it's getting very good. The second hurdle is really just computing power. Once you have all that into the computer, AI computing power is massively demanding. And that demand is often hard on machines. It takes a lot of computing power. So the real hurdle is in getting the proper stuff captured and then the rendering computing power, which has always been a challenge in video media since computers started doing nonlinear editing 25 years ago.
Obviously, there is a large lift on, call it, the front end in terms of building a model and refining it, and then on the rendering side. But once the model is built and fine-tuned in terms of the look and also the sound, it seems like the actual content and creating it and having it, what it's going to say or what it's going to do, that actually seems like the fast part.
Yeah, there aren't any changes or anything that needs to happen in terms of like a reshoot. Say, for example, once you've got all your footage and you've got your person worked out, you've got your AI clone made, right, for your host. After that, you're just telling them what to say. There's no reshoots, there's no mistakes. Everything is flawless after that. You know, typically, if you're in the production world of the past, you would have to set up a camera, you'd have to set up lights, microphone, make sure everything's technically correct. The talent then has to read a script or know a script, perform that script, and if you wanted changes, you have to then tell them to change it. You're then recording some more. The time it takes to do a live production compared to what it takes once you've invested in building your AI host is such a different world. You can simply, with a text prompt, tell the AI avatar to just do something a certain way, and it does it exactly as you tell it to do it. And if you wanted to have it do it again, you tell it. And oftentimes, the delivery time for getting the AI avatar to be rendered and ready for you to see what it's doing is less than or about equal to running time. So in other words, it takes less time to tell an AI avatar to do something and for it to render a result than it would if you told an actor to record it, and then you have to ingest that recording, transcode that recording, and then edit that recording. It's like light speed compared to what was done before.
Thinking of the traditional model of production, it sounds like the pre-production is where the work is truly done, but then when it comes to production and then post, that is effectively, it's the inverse of the old model, honestly. Whereas in traditional production, the actual production and post would be the heavy lift. It's now in the beginning, but then that part becomes smooth sailing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, though, it's all about applications. Right now, the perfect application is in short form content like commercials, in-house productions, training videos. These are places where AI hosts and AI avatars are becoming what people do. I don't know that there's going to be a huge reason to do one-off productions with talent. And I think instead what will happen is you'll do a production with talent, and then you'll continue to make a series using that talent and making AI avatars of that talent. That really is a great way, too, for corporate companies to have the CEO of their company deliver a message to their international teams in their voice and in the language of the international teams. In this case, you'd have a CEO of a company who's global, speaks English as their native language, delivers a video in English, and that same video in their voice can be delivered in German, in French, Chinese. It doesn't matter. That is really the optimum application, and everything comes down to application. Yes, you're right. It's really heavy on the front end. The back end is almost whatever you can imagine. Whatever you can think of, it can happen. That's what's happening now, and it's very exciting. And I think it's going to only get better.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will definitely be something that we will be watching. This has been the Viewfinders podcast presented by Framerate Technologies. Thank you for listening.